Welcome back, everybody, to episode 6 of the Two Man Game podcast. I'm Dante. I'm your host. This is my co-host KC.
Yo,
Hey, and like always, we got a great show. I feel like every show gets better and better. This one, we got a lot to talk about. We're gonna get into, John Morant, the Grizzlies, LeBron. What he's doing the last 10. Obviously, a big Bron fan. I'm loving this. So we're talking about, we're going to get into coaching, what makes a great coach, the standings, talk a little bit about that. Top 5 of the week, we know that. And then get into, some point guards. So top 5 point guards. So want to start us off, Casey?
yeah. But before I get into anything, I want to give a shout out to all the people who watch,
Yes, sir.
support us.
Yes, sir.
Give a shout out to Ty. Today, I got a message saying they've been waiting for a new episode, and that really made my day. So
Yeah.
shout out to everyone who supports. We like to hear good feedback and feedback in general, so the good and the bad. So Thank you very much.
Yeah, just to tail off that real quick, just to tail off that again, like you said, appreciate everybody, all the support. We've come a long way, from the first episode, from very first time recorded to now.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Yeah, so come a long way. So let's get it. Let's get going.
Yeah. Took the whole team to the promised land. Rest in peace to my father, man. Wish you could have seen the plan.
All right, so getting right into it, we're going to talk about our favorite coaches in the league and what we think make a good coach in today's basketball scene. And, whether it's college, NBA, all these guys have pretty much the same traits in what makes a good coach. So get us going with it.
Yep. So when I look at a good coach, obviously I look at a few things. So I wrote down a few tendencies that I look at, which are your system. So if you're going out there, no system, obviously you're in the NBA. So the talent takes over a lot of the time. So you put out a simple system, maybe it might be a pick and roll, pick and roll, high pick and roll, whatever it may be. But you want to get into that. You want to get going and let the talent take over. So I like systems, your interaction with your players too. So we saw it with Urban Meyer in football, how that dude was terrible, bro. Like he's kicking people,
kicking players.
Yeah, like that is crazy. Like that.
Yeah,
if that was
that's
me,
not gonna fly.
Right. I'm punching him right in his face. Like that's just crazy. So like your interaction with players, how you talk to them off the court. I mean, obviously you can't talk to everybody the same. So interaction, keeping it simple. You don't want to add too much. That's going to confuse everybody. And then my last thing is being able to utilize your talent around you. So one thing I have to say about that is obviously we know Luke Walton when he had
the Warriors
took over for the Warriors.
Took over for the Warriors,
they already had a system in place, obviously, with that team, and let the talent take over. And then once he got to Sacramento, he got exposed a little bit. You know what I mean? So
just one thing on that though, I think when it comes down to it, a lot of these good NBA teams, championship teams, I don't even think sometimes they need a coach. Like, Kyrie Irving said last year, it doesn't matter who the coach is. For a lot of the good teams, they know what to do to win. But I think a coach is there, to manage the egos, guys playing times, all that.
Good point.
So kind of obviously the X and O's matter, and you need talent to win, obviously. But I coaches, I think he still had a little something to do with them winning. They started off fucking crazy hot that year. So but sorry to cut you off. But
you're good. No, I'm good. I'm done. So you can go into your questions.
So kind of adding to what you said. So I have communication with your players on not only what we're doing, but also your roles on the team, because that plays a big part in knowing where you are.
Clarifying.
Not and everyone wants to score 20. Obviously, that's but you gotta the coach being able to communicate with the players on what he expects from them. I think that's big. For example, when I was in college, I went the coach telling me where I wasn't playing, but then communicating to me where, hey, I'm going to give you a chance, and you're in the rotation now, so now it's time to perform. So kind of knowing where you are in the ranks, your role for the team, I think that plays a big part.
That's a great point.
You see that a lot with NBA teams. for the good teams at least, the pecking order and how that's going to go. So communication, ability to adapt in game, and adjustments. I think that's really big. College level, NBA, high school, any kind of basketball setting, any coaching in general, you need to be able to make good adjustments on the fly. And I think a lot of the great coaches are able to do that in game. You see a team playing a 3-2 zone. What are you going to do to combat that and be able to be able to be effective in that? So I think that's important. Organization and discipline. I think a lot of the good teams, and you'll see good teams, they're really disciplined. Whether it's NFL with a lot of the good teams, they're not getting dumb holding calls or false starts, all those penalties with NBA turnovers, stuff like that. So I feel like a lot of the good coaches, they're disciplined with just not trying to do too much, but like NBA players traveling, like that has to do with obviously the skills of the player and just being fundamentally sound, but that's discipline in installing good fundamentals in practice and stuff like that. So attention to detail is I think something that's very, very important for coaches. It's the little things that win you the games. So I think that's important for a good coach. And for basketball, I should say, just the basketball IQ of the coach with game planning, strategy, stuff like that. I think that's huge. And just like your motivation on how you could get a team ready to play. I obviously in NBA, you're playing 82 games. You're not going to be, geeked to play, 7:00 game in New Orleans, on a Friday night,
Right. After you played yesterday, what I mean? Like,
to be able to get the best out of your players, I think that's something big.
Yeah.
So,
and to your point, like you hear a lot of the times with coaches who end up getting, fired or whatever, they lost the locker room.
Yeah.
You hear that a lot. You lose the locker room. And then, once your players aren't listening to you, it's going to go downhill every single time. So
definitely.
Yeah. To your point about, the locker room and communication and stuff like that. So yeah, very good point.
Yeah. And also like trust, like trusting your coach. That's something that's huge, you're down 5 at the end of the game. You have trust and faith in your coach that he's going to draw up the best
play out of a timeout,
draw a good play. And, as long as you have a good chance at a good shot, I think, you'll live with it.
Yep.
So that also plays in a huge role. But getting into some of the coaches who I really like in today's NBA. So Nick Nurse, he's one of my favorite coaches. Eric Spoelstra of the Heat. Nick Nurse is from the Raptors. I like Ty Lue from the Clippers. Taylor Jenkins from the Memphis Grizzlies, and Greg Popovich. Those are like when I thought about one of the better coaches in the league, those were the top 5. Also, Michael Malone from Denver, he's a hell of a coach.
Yeah.
Quinn Snyder's a hell of a coach too. And Steve Kerr is, I think he's a really good coach too.
Yeah.
So, and looking at all those coaches, I think it goes back to all those things that we listed. I feel like all these, they check off all those boxes.
Yep.
So I'll let you have the floor now.
Yep. So my top 5 is probably the exact same as yours. I got Steve Kerr in there. So I have Greg Pop. Obviously, we know what he's done for better part of 20 years.
Yeah.
That dynasty with the Spurs, 5 championships. And to your point of discipline, those probably the most disciplined teams in terms of, help defense or, down the stretch. They're not going to turn the ball over.
Yeah.
And what's funny about that? It's a funny moment. One of my favorite moments ever is when T-Mac scored 13 in 33 seconds. That was against Greg Pop and the Spurs. That's funny how that happened. You know what I mean? So, obviously, things like that, T-Mac is one of a kind when it comes to something like that. But
yeah, no, definitely.
But overall discipline and things like that. So Eric Spoelstra too, after the Big Three broke up in 2014, his ability,
doing a hell of a job,
right? His ability to keep that team afloat You know, obviously defense is the identity down there, you know, with him.
Working hard and,
right.
and all that. But
working hard, you know, that the Heat culture and things like that. He's a big part of that. You know what I mean? And that's your coach. Obviously, I have Ty Lue here, and I also have Nick Nurse. And I really love Nick Nurse, man. Ever since he's taken over, you know, for Dwayne Casey in Toronto, he's done a hell of a job defensive wise, scheming and stuff like that. And I remember telling you, you know, the other day, whenever they play the Wizards, I hate it. Yeah, because it seems like every time we go up to Toronto, we have a bad shooting night, and that's all a part of coaching and game planning and stuff like that. So, hey, man, coaching is really big. And a couple honorable mentions I got. Tom Thibodeau, in terms of the defensive side, you know, obviously
defensive side, right? Yeah,
you know, when he coached Chicago as well, that was their main thing, defense.
Yeah.
And then Monty Williams as well. I like Monty Williams too. So just really like he's just like a down to earth, personable guy. You know, easy to talk to and things like that.
Yeah, you could definitely see it once he took over for the Suns. They kind of a good team usually takes the personality of the coach.
Yeah.
So you could tell they you know, they play hard. They're gritty as hell. They play good basketball, and it helps having Chris Paul leading the way too.
Right. That's your on court coach right there.
That's exactly. But obviously for these good coaches, they all have good talent as well around them.
Yeah, you got to.
But they all utilize their talent extremely well. I mean, you're naming off all your coaches. Eric Spoelstra, for example, this year, what he's been able to do with how much injuries they had, COVID and all that. Every team's dealing with it, but they got hit hard. Like they have undrafted players going crazy, which is it. Respect to the guys who are stepping up, because you got to step up. But for him to be able to put these guys in position and have the confidence to be able to come in and do that, it's impressive.
Yeah, that's a good point. I wonder how many coaches outside of those guys that we named could put Max Strus into their lineup or into their rotation and have him go crazy
because he's been playing out of his mind. I mean, you could tell how confident him, Gabe Vincent too. They've just been so confident on how they've been playing, and it shows with how, you know, their whole team success. Everyone's just been stepping up to the plate. No Bam, no Jimmy. It don't matter, you know. Kyle Lowry, Hero, Robinson, Strus, Gabe Vincent. All right, we're gonna step up.
Yeah, we're gonna do our thing. Yeah. So it's about putting your guys in the right positions to succeed, and that's what they, you know, these guys do. So
exactly.
Yeah.
So moving forward, tomorrow is Sunday the 9th is supposed to be a big day, especially for the Warrior fans. Klay Thompson's return. It's been 2 years since we've seen him.
2 years too long.
Yeah, too long, exactly. Like, just, I know for a baller, you know, being a basketball player, being away for 2 years, I'm sure that's hell. And just to see a guy his caliber, you know, player come back, him and Kyrie, you know, both being back, but Klay Thompson coming back from an injury. I'm excited as hell to see what he brings to this Warriors team. So what do you think about it?
Oh man, like we said, 2 years is way too long.
Yeah,
one of the greatest shooters we've ever seen in this, you know, in this game, and the fact that all the stuff that he's done. I mean, it's like Curry when it comes to accolades and stuff that he's done. It's like, what? It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, my favorite moment obviously is Game 6, 2016, Western Conference Finals against OKC, where you know he puts the team on his back. I forgot how many threes he hit. It was
11.
11. Yeah. Hits 11 threes. Obviously,
11 of 18.
11 out of 18. Like, what? In a Game 6 on the road, and probably at the time one of the craziest environments.
You know, OKC has a hell of a crowd.
Right, that crowd was crazy. So that was, you know, one of my favorite moments from him. And then, you know, showing his toughness, coming back in that Game 6 in 2019 and hitting those 2 free throws after, you know, obviously tearing his ACL, which is ridiculous. So, we love Klay, man. Can't wait to see him back.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. My favorite moment definitely is that game 6.
Mhm.
I mean, he's had so many legendary moments.
It's ridiculous.
60 points. I was watching that game live. I was watching the 37 points in one
In a
quarter. Was
quarter,
watching
didn't
that live.
miss.
Oh God, I was. Hey,
Like
you
what?
see me watch, good games, and I get hyped,
Yeah,
bro. If you seen me that night, oh my goodness, bro,
man.
that was crazy.
Mhm.
And then like even, what was that 2019? Uh, it was against the Rockets. He kept them afloat in the first half, and Steph Curry goes off in the second half.
That was a game where Steph didn't score in the first
Yeah,
half. Something like
that was
yeah.
one of my favorite games, though, just to show how he's going to step up to the plate. He's always going
Right.
to step up to the plate, but definitely that OKC game 6.
Mhm.
Every time I watch those highlights to this day, still get chills.
Yeah.
Some of the, he was hitting shots where his left leg was ahead of his right leg, pulling up.
Yeah.
It didn't matter.
Top of the key. I remember exactly what
Yeah.
you're talking about. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, he's definitely a legendary player. I can't wait to see what he brings to the table. I know he's only going to be playing around like 15 to 18 minutes, they said.
Yeah.
So
Got to work him back into form.
But I know when he's in there, he's going to be shooting that.
Oh yeah, he gonna get it up. He gonna get it up. He gonna get it up. It's crazy. Before we get into the next, it's crazy to me that we talk about Curry, we give him his flowers, greatest shooter ever, but the stuff that Klay has done. I mean, he holds the record in the regular season for most threes in the game.
I can't believe that slipped my mind. That game too, because we were going to school at the time in Boston. I was watching that on my little ass TV. Brandon and I going crazy watching it. And that was in 3 quarters too.
Yeah, exactly.
And if they weren't blowing him out, he might have
18, 19, or
20
maybe.
Yeah,
he's been getting them up for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So no, I'm definitely looking forward to it. What do you think? Him coming back to the Warriors, what does that bring for them?
I mean, it pretty much brings everything. So the Warriors right now, they've lost 2 in a row. Obviously, Curry didn't play one of those games. He's been struggling a little bit. So I think this can kind of struggling. I mean, his last 2 games, he shot really bad.
No, definitely.
But I mean, it's going to bring a lot. It's going to bring, in terms of intensity, be like, okay, Klay's back. You know what I mean? Like, especially that first home game back, I expect them to go crazy. Curry's going to be on one. Just for your mental. You know what I mean? Like, we got our guy back.
Exactly.
20 points per game career coming back. You know what I mean? Yeah. So hasn't played into it. So it's going to be emotional for him, but it's going to be good for the Warriors, man. Real good.
Yeah. Yeah. I think him coming back, his energy is going to be huge for the team. And like you said, he's about a 20 points per game scorer for, his career. So, if he comes back and gives you even 15 points this year, I think that's a huge W.
You'll take it.
And like the way Jordan Poole has been playing, that's going to be coming off your bench now. So that'll be interesting to see how he plays that out, because obviously he was starting, getting good minutes, so being able to adjust. And I think he obviously understands what Klay's going to bring to the table, but he's still going to be able to do his thing. So it's going to be a good balance to see how that goes.
Yeah, he'll have that whole second unit to do his thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, the Warriors are second in the West right now. They're in a great position. I didn't think they would be this good at this point in the year. So adding Klay Thompson back and hopefully James Wiseman pretty soon behind him, that's going to be huge for the Warriors. Definitely. So I can't wait. I can't wait.
Yeah, can't wait. I can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see it.
It's definitely going to be a special moment for the NBA. I may be tearing up when this episode drops. It'll probably already have happened. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's definitely going to be a special moment for all NBA fans. It's going to be special for sure.
Definitely.
So, staying in, special moments on what's been going on.
Okay.
LeBron James lately, man.
Oh, goodness.
So for his last 10, he's averaging 34, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, 55% from the field, and 37 from 3. So what he's been doing lately, it's fucking crazy, bro.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
37.
Like,
I mean,
yeah,
we keep bringing it up. 37.
yeah.
The man is like,
I'm honestly at this point, I'm not even gonna worry about his age, bro, because this dude looks just
right,
as good
point,
as he was
it don't
5
matter.
years ago. Yeah, exactly. So I'm done bringing up his age, 37. That nigga going ball regardless at this point, bro.
It's honestly crazy. But I want to give flowers to Malik Monk, who's been picking up a little bit of the slack.
Yeah.
You know, he's been shooting the ball really well. Put up 27, I think it was, against 29 against the Hawks.
Last night, yeah.
Yeah, just shooting the ball really well. And you know, I like when the Lakers are playing like when Russ obviously is taking a back seat. I think that's when they're at their best, because he's a really good playmaker, like really underrated playmaker to me. I mean, the guy averages 8 assists, something like that. So
yeah,
when he's taking, I think his sweet spot should be 8 to 10 shots a game, depending on the game. I think he should be setting up Melo, Malik Monk. I mean, Bron's shooting 37% from 3 during this stretch. So if he could get him some open looks in the corner or something like that, I think that's when the Lakers are at the best. And then obviously on the defensive end, they got to play some defense, and they've been doing that. So
yeah, no, I mean, they're definitely the Lakers. They haven't been great, obviously, this year. They've been battling with injuries and all that good stuff. But definitely, like lately, they've been playing really good. It's been on the LeBron effect. He's been good.
Yeah.
To kind of just add to your point about Russell Westbrook, I think the time when he wants to be really aggressive should be all the times when LeBron's on the court. That should be when it's his time to try to get going, be more aggressive, make plays for himself and for others. And it's going to take time. I know for the Wizards last year, he had a really slow start and then picked it up towards the end of, the second half of the year. He was damn near averaging triple-double. If he probably did. Look, I'd have to look, but like right now, the Lakers, they're sitting at 21-19, and they're the 6th seed in the West, and AD hasn't been playing for the last 4 weeks. He hurt himself in middle of December, so
right. So that's
almost like 3 weeks.
Yeah,
like 3 weeks. Yeah, going on a month almost. So I think they're finding their stride a little bit right now. LeBron obviously has leading the second in scoring. Yeah, he's second in the league in scoring right now, which is crazy. I definitely did not expect that.
Not at all.
But it looks like he's not slowing down anytime soon, bearing any injury. I just knocked on wood. So but yeah, what he's been able to do, it's been crazy. If he keeps it up, he's definitely in the MVP discussion. If he keeps it up, he may be the MVP. There's a lot of good guys who've been balling out right now. So but yeah, we just wanted to kind of give LeBron his fucking flowers. This old ass. This is crazy.
Oh man, still going at it.
Moving over to a young star who's been, this past year kind of just took the huge leap is Ja Morant.
Yeah.
Right now he's averaging 25, 5 and 6. They're on a 7-game win streak. It's looking like he's getting up there in the top guards right now. What are your thoughts on Ja?
I definitely say he's a top 5 point guard this year. What's funny? I think he was kind of fueled by, remember that game when he came back off that injury?
Yeah,
the Grizzlies were playing really well.
Fans,
right, and the fans are talking crazy. You need to sit back down, all this stuff. So after that, he went crazy. I think he had the game winner against Phoenix, and then he had a few other games. They beat Cleveland recently. So Ja, I mean, he's top. I would say he's top 5 in the MVP race right now. Basically 25 a game. He's only 22 years old.
Yeah.
Only 22 years old doing this is ridiculous for a team that wasn't expected to be anywhere near where they're at. and he's like, you know, the leader of that. I mean, obviously,
Yeah, no,
his guys have been playing really well. Desmond
yeah,
Bain.
they got some dogs though on their team for
Yeah,
sure.
but for
but
him
he's
to
the
be,
head of the snake. But he's
right,
the head of the snake for sure.
For him to be leading the way and them to be what, fourth in the
Yeah,
West?
they're fourth in the West right now, at 26 and 14 right now.
That says a lot.
Yeah,
You know what
I mean, for sure he's an all-star this year. I don't think there's
Yeah.
any argument about that.
Mhm.
He's what he's been doing lately. He's definitely one of my favorite young players in the league.
Definitely so fun to watch.
And
so fun to watch.
It seems like every time he matches up against like one of these, the main players, the Steph Currys, the KDs, the LeBrons,
Yeah.
he's not afraid of the moment
He going
whatsoever.
Right
And he's
at you.
going right at him. And most of the times, out of all these games he's played, he's the best player on the court that night, going up against all these star players. So like he's really not afraid of the moment whatsoever. I love what John Morant's been able to do this year, and their whole team in general. Like, I mean, we already gave Taylor Jenkins his flowers earlier on. How I love him, love what he brings to the table as a coach. And Bain, he's been balling out. Jaren Jackson Jr., we talked about them earlier. Steven Adams, he's been huge for them this year. Offensive rebounding. When they traded for him this year in the offseason, I wasn't big on the trade. I like Valanciunas. What he brought to the table was able to shoot the three and be able to post up. But what Adams has been able to do, I think it's allowed Desmond Bain. Dylan Brooks going to get his shots up regardless, but Jaren Jackson Jr., those guys to get more shots, and Steven Adams has filled in that role perfectly.
Yeah, for sure.
So I mean, definitely right now, John Morant, top 5 point guards. So I want to hear what your top 5 point guards are right now.
This was probably the hardest list for me to make because I didn't know whether to go off of previous success as well as factoring in this year.
Yeah.
So here's my 4 for sures, right? Here's my 4 for sures. I got obviously Steph, number 1. It's hard. I got Dame 2. I mean, I love Dame. I love what Dame brings to the table. Obviously, this year he's shooting career lows across the board, but I love what he does. I got Harden 3 just because his ability. I think he's the best playmaker on this list. He's leading the league in assists, or maybe second behind Chris Paul, right there. And then Luka. So those are my 4 for sures, right? And then I got in parentheses, I got Ja, Trey, and CP3. Okay. Now, it's tough.
So really who's that tough. 5th? Give me the 5th.
You want me to do it?
Yeah.
I'm going to do it. It's tough, man. Trey just got to the conference finals last year. CP3 obviously got to the finals last year.
Give me your 5th. Come on.
I'm going to go CP.
Okay.
I'm going to go CP.
Okay. All right. I like that list. I did more for this year, like what you've been doing for me lately, not overall, because definitely your list, I would have going in this year, I had Dame and I had Harden in my top 5 point guards because Harden's a combo, but he makes more plays and he has the ball more. He's more of a point guard for the Nets. So, all right. So here's my top 5. So I got Luka number 5.
Okay.
He's been having an up and down year. He's been injured, but
COVID as well.
Yeah, COVID exactly. So, but he's still averaging 25, 8, and 8. Yeah, basically 9 assists. So, that's a hell of a those stats are great. And then so I got CP3 number 4 right now.
Okay.
14, 4, and 10. Double every night, making plays. He got Bismack Biyombo going crazy a couple nights ago.
He got Bismack a contract, man. This is
crazy. So Chris Paul, he's not as explosive scoring as any of these guys that I have on the list.
Oh, yeah, right.
But what he brings to the table is just as valuable as all the scoring that everyone else is doing. And I got Ja Morant number 3 right now.
Woo. Hey, I can't argue with that, man. It was
right now. Listen, right
Okay.
now, he's
Okay.
been going crazy.
Yep.
I mean, we obviously just discussed it, but I got him at number 3 right now. Number 2, the best guard in the East right now, Trae Young.
Okay.
28,
Yeah.
4 and 9, almost basically 10 assists, 9.6 assists. So he's been doing a hell of a job. Hawks been struggling, but
Yeah.
he's been one of their good, they're one of the good things that's been coming out of this year.
He just had a 50 ball too against
Exactly.
Portland. So
yeah. So he's been doing his thing. And then Steph Curry, 26, 5 and 6. He's having a little bit of a rush shooting stretch lately, but I expect him to,
like you said, rough.
Yeah, exactly.
For him.
For his standards. And I
Yeah.
think a lot of us have became a little bit, a little bit just spoiled, used to,
Spoiled is a great word.
Yeah,
spoiled
exactly.
is a great word for him.
Used to him making all these tough threes, these open threes. This guy's human. He's the best shooter in the world. He's gonna, he's having a rough stretch. So it's crazy. Even watching the games, seeing him shoot a 3, I'm like, oh, that's it. What the hell? So yeah, right now I would say Luka at 5, CP3, Ja at 3, Trae at 2, and Steph Curry at number 1. That'd be mine. So,
okay.
But
I just wasn't sure if we wanted to do past and. But,
yeah, I think both lists are all right.
Mm-hmm.
I think mine's better, but
is that right?
Whoever's listening, if you guys are listening, let us know whose list is a little bit better.
They gotta understand where I was coming from right there.
Yeah. No, exactly. So with big returns, the Nets' big 3 is finally hitting the road.
Boom, boom.
Yeah, exactly. Kyrie Irving finally he came back. The Nets allowed him to come back and play in road games. How big do you think this will be for the Nets?
I think it's just gonna be tough. Like when you talk about a team and then by the end of the year, how you want to be playing, continuity is one of the big ones we talk about. You want to be all on the same page. So I think it's going to be tough game planning for in the playoffs when you're playing at home and playing away without one of your big guys. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Like this, I mean, ever since the big 3 has formed, it's just been always something, man. Like that first year that they all got when Harden got traded,
injuries, guys in and out of lineups.
Right. Injuries, and then obviously COVID was just an unfortunate situation. Adding on to that. So I mean, I don't know. I just don't know how to feel about it. At this point, I mean, I remember saying if they get Kyrie back full time, I'd have Brooklyn getting out the East. But if he's not going to be full time, I still have either Miami or Milwaukee. So
yeah. I think so it's real interesting at this moment right now. The Nets are 10-10 at home, but 14-3 away.
Yeah, that's tough.
So that's really tough. So you're gonna add Kyrie Irving, who last year 25 points a game, 40, 50, 90 club. So you're adding 20-some points a game to that. And they're sitting at a good spot right now. I think they're number 2 in the East right now. But in the game, the game last night against the Bucks, like they missed Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
They definitely missed him, and that was a home game. So it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to be able to react with him in and out of the lineup. And like
those are teams you're playing in the playoffs, right?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
The Bucks are somebody you're going to have to get through.
Yeah,
and to not have your full roster and full strength in big games, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, and I think him coming in and out of the lineup, I mean, he fits perfect for them, and he's exactly what they need and what they're missing. So it's a good fit when he comes back and forth. you could plug him in perfectly, but it's going to take adjustments. Like there's going to be adjustment periods for sure.
Yeah.
And to have him at games and then not in games, that's going to be funky. Good thing, like role players typically play better at home. So I guess that's considered a good thing. You're not going to have him, but hopefully guys are going to be able to step up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's definitely a tough situation for them.
Yeah. It's gonna be weird, but
especially in a playoff series, if they're top 4 seed right now, so they're gonna have home court, and if they get to a game 7 at home, you want to have Kyrie Irving there. So it's definitely a tricky situation. Like I'm not going to tell someone to get a COVID shot. That's his own beliefs and whatnot.
Yeah.
So but the game is definitely better with Kyrie Irving playing and putting on a good show. And when he played the other night, he looked pretty good for it being his first game of the season. So
yeah. Another thing to note with Brooklyn is I believe they're 0-8 against the top 7 teams in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And they've yet to play the Jazz, but against Chicago they're 0-2. Against Golden State they already lost. So I mean, these are the teams you're gonna be playing if you get to the conference finals, second round, and
finals.
Yeah, if you get there. So I don't know. I don't know, man. It's gonna be a tough situation.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be a good evaluation on Steve Nash.
Yeah.
He got the job. People were a little, iffy on the hire. Obviously, he's a Hall of Fame player, great, one of the best point guards of all time, great IQ, but it's gonna, he's gonna have to put on his coaching hat, and be able to adjust these, crazy lineups. And I think everyone in the league is having players in and out due to COVID and these protocols and stuff like that.
Right.
But for a guy to just be a part-time player, oh no, it's definitely a little wacky, but it's good to see him back regardless. So it'll be cool. So moving forward, from established guard to, I want to kind of give our flowers to some of the younger guards. Watching Trae Young last night against the Lakers just like made me think how much good young guards there are in the league right now.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna name off a couple guys, and we could kind of chat it up about them and whatnot. So obviously Trae Young, hell of a guard. John Morant, we already discussed him. Anthony Edwards, second year guy, hell of a player.
Yep.
Tyler Hero, he's he had he was saying he wants to be in discussion with all those the better guards in the league, and I think right now he's averaging 20 points off the bench. You got to give him his flowers right now. So Tyler Hero been playing crazy. Darius Garland, he's been one of the the main reasons for the Cavs' good success this year. It's been a team effort for sure. They have a lot of guys producing, like we said a couple episodes back. They had at that point it was like seven players averaging double figures, but he's averaging 19.9, basically 20 points and 7 assists. So he's been doing his thing. So shout out to Darius Garland. Obviously LaMelo Ball, what he brings to the table, 19, 7 and 7. Hell of a player, young player. DeJounte Murray, 17, 8 and 8.9 assists. So basically 9 assists right now.
Underrated, man.
Yeah.
Underrated.
Obviously the Spurs, they're not doing very good right now, and they're not getting that attention, but we want to just give him his flowers because he's been doing his thing. So basically, flirting with the triple double. So that's impressive as hell.
Yeah.
I also Desmond Bane. He is. We were talking about him on the last episode, but
love his game.
Yeah, his game is great. He's definitely becoming one of the better 3-point shooters in the league this year, and can't wait to see what he keeps bringing to the table. Jordan Poole, he's definitely taken a good step in the right direction this year. It will be interesting to see him coming off the bench, how that all plays out and whatnot.
I just want to say with Jordan Poole, I was the only believer. I just want to. You can keep going, but I just want to say that.
No, I think a lot of people believed in him. I definitely was one of those guys who were up and down with him.
Yeah.
But this year he's definitely proved me wrong. So
Right.
shout out to Jordan Poole.
Right. Just the inside story, real quick. That's the inside joke because when I think it was after his rookie year,
Yeah.
I believe. I think it was after Jordan Poole's rookie year.
I was such a hater on him.
I was the one saying, I'm like, yo, Jordan Poole has a bag. I'm like, this guy's gonna be good, this and that. And Casey's just like, man, he ain't got no bag. He don't do nothing. I'm like, okay, all right. And then this year, obviously, he's having a great year. So, I just want to say, I believed in him when Casey did it.
You did believe in it. But I changed my opinion on him at like the end of last year, middle of last year, when he started playing. When he started playing better, I was like, okay, like I was wrong for sure. Listen, I was wrong. That dude's got a bag.
I was the first person to text you, like, yeah, I told you about JP.
Yeah, I mean, I remembered him in college. He was good.
Yeah,
definitely. What he's been doing now is I didn't expect. So
kudos
to Jordan Poole. Keep it up, bro. And then so Tyrese Maxey, he's been playing really good, especially taking over the starting point guard role.
Yeah,
he's been really good for them. It seemed like he wanted to add something. I don't know.
I mean, I was just gonna briefly say Philly. I like how they've been playing recently.
They've been playing a lot better.
Yeah, with a lot of distractions. We already talked about that. A couple guys that you missed. I mean, obviously Donovan Mitchell is 25. He's not the youngest of the youngest, but he's still before his prime years at 25.
Yeah.
I mean, has a case to being one of the best two guards in the league. Might be.
Yeah, no, definitely. I agree.
Yeah,
I just want to defend myself though. I didn't add Luka on here because we already know what he's that's why I was kind of just giving some of the more low key. Obviously, John, Trae Young are obviously in the spotlight more And
then Shea, did you mention Shea?
I didn't, but I love Shea's game.
Yeah, Shea. Yeah, we love Shea over here.
And I also have Tyrese Halliburton. What he's been doing recently has been really good.
Yeah, and he's played really well.
I think the way he's been playing, the Kings can maybe take a look, see what they could do with De'Aaron Fox, maybe.
Yeah, that was a talk. They were talking about him going to New York, possibly. So
definitely the way Halliburton's been playing, you could make the consideration of him being able to be the main guy for your team. But sorry to cut you off. Keep going.
Yeah, no. I mean, then Josh Giddey. Man, I mean, obviously we're not talking about rookies right now, but I mean the fact that I think it's really notable that he, the youngest ever to have a triple double, which is crazy. And it's funny because a couple games before that, he had a game where he had 0 points. But he had 10 boards and 10 assists. Yeah. So, I mean, that just shows his level of playmaking and he does it all. So, I really like Giddey. I can't wait to see what he and Shea can do.
Yeah. Okay, no, I like a lot of the rookies. I didn't include the rookies because it's just early. It's early. Like there's a lot of rookies. I love what they've been doing. I mean, I could keep going if we had the time and wanted to do that, but for right now I just wanted to do kind of just the younger guys, the second, third year guys, kind of just not the rookies yet. I don't want to
for sure
put them on blast or nothing now. But so moving on now to the top 5 teams.
Let's get it.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
So start it off for us.
All right. So I mean, y'all know how we get down over here. Top 5 of the week. We're gonna start off with 5, all the way down to 1. My number 5 for this week is the Golden State Warriors. I know it might be a shot, might be weird, but I mean they're 6-4 in their last 10. They beat Utah, really good win at Utah.
That was a good win for them.
Yeah, and then they also beat Miami. I mean, good team, so I don't expect Curry to keep shooting like this. I mean, that's part of the reason why they're struggling a little bit. They lost the last 2. He didn't play in New Orleans. They would have beat them, I feel like. But I mean, I got to go to stay here, still at 5.
All right. Yeah, so right now I got the Jazz at number 5. 28-11. definitely the most quiet team in the league right now. They, they're the only 2 games behind the Suns in wins right now.
Yeah.
So what they've been doing has been really impressive. 8-2 in their last 10. So yeah, I got them number 5.
Okay. Number 4, I got the Jazz. Like you said, 8-2, their last 10. Decimated by injuries and COVID right now. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
The game
Yeah,
against
it
Toronto,
sucks.
their starting 5 was Eric Pascal and a bunch of other, no-name guys. So
Yeah,
once they get their guys back, they'll be right there. So I got the Jazz here at 4.
yeah. So right now I got the Bulls at number 4.
Mhm.
26-10 on a 9-game win streak. They're just getting healthy. Guys coming back for their team. Lonzo Ball just got in the lineup a couple games ago. Levine was out. DeMar been playing crazy.
Yeah.
So they're in a good spot right now. I think they're maybe like a trade away from being like a real deal contender. I think, but it's we haven't even hit the All-Star break yet, but
Yeah.
they're getting healthy right now, and they're just playing really good basketball. So right now I'll have them at that 9 straight.
Okay. Number 3 here, I got Philly. So I want to show Philly some
I
love
like
right
it.
now.
I
Yeah,
like it.
I want to
like
show
it.
Philly some love. 22-16.
Mhm.
Joel Embiid is being Joel Embiid. Seth Curry still shooting the lights out.
Mhm.
6 straight wins. They just went into Brooklyn and beat them. Maybe like last week. I know that we talking about this week, but
Yeah.
and then they beat Toronto in Toronto. That's always a good win.
Yeah.
We talked about Nick Nurse and his defensive scheme. So I got Philly here at 3.
Yeah. No, that I like that one. That's a good one actually. I got the Bucks at number 3 though right now. As of right now, I think they look like the favorites in the East, the way they've
Yeah.
been playing. When
Yep.
they got their big 3, they're playing really good basketball. And 7-3 in their last 10. They just beat the Nets last night, which they dominated them too. So that was a good win. They're playing good basketball. Until someone beats them,
Right. Right.
they
That's
got
what they say.
yeah,
Until somebody beats you, man.
yeah, you gotta show me. So yeah.
Yes, sir. So number 2 here, I got Chicago. I would have had them number 1. They've won 9 straight. Anytime you went over, any winning streak in the NBA is tough. But the fact that 8 of these wins have been against teams under 500,
Yeah.
that's the reason why I have them number 2. But DeRozan, 2-game winners back-to-back nights, first time in NBA history. That's something.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I was pissed. But yeah, so I got Chicago here too.
Yeah. I have the Warriors at number 2 right now, 29-9. 6-4 in the last 10. So they have been not playing great, but I think both those games, they were definitely both winnable games. They had their chances against the Mavericks to kind of pull away. They just couldn't get over the hump.
Yeah, that was even a bad shooting night.
Yeah. And then the next night against the Pelicans too, they could have won. The Pelicans played good basketball. Brandon Ingram was killing, but they're in a little bit of a slump right now, shooting wise, but they got reinforcements coming back soon. So
reinforcements.
Exactly. So yeah, right now I got them number 2.
Yep. Number 1, man, Memphis, grit and grind. I got them for 7 straight wins. Is crazy, and they've beaten Brooklyn, they've beaten Cleveland, the Lakers, and they've also beaten Phoenix with that John Morant game winner, which is crazy. Yeah. 7 straight dubs. Gotta show Memphis some love, man.
Yeah. I respect it. I like you. I like how you mix it up a little bit, but I got the Suns number 1, bro.
Oh my God. You forgot Memphis?
No, I didn't forget them. I have them here, but they're not in my top 5 right now. All these teams I like better right now, even though Memphis been playing great basketball. Yeah. But right now the Suns, they're without Ayton or McGee right now, and they haven't lost a step. They're 7-3 in their last 10, so they're still playing good basketball. They're 30-8 right now, so
yeah, best in the league.
Yeah, they're definitely best in the league. So
Yeah.
that's my number one team right now.
I feel it. Hey,
Let us know.
Let us know, man. I feel like my list was a little bit better. I showed some love, man. I showed some love. Philly, Memphis.
You did
Come
show
on,
love.
man.
I do respect you for switching it up, but I still
Yeah.
think my list is better. Let us know, people.
Let us know. Hey, man, and that's a wrap for this episode of Two Man Game Podcast. If you made it this far, I really do. We do appreciate you. Again, from the bottom of our heart, appreciate all the support from day one. We've had messages from people telling us, get going again, because we, had a bit of a hiatus after, holidays and stuff like that. So appreciate you guys. And that's a wrap. We out.
Yes. Thank you.